The following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence.
Of course! Of course!
Okay, you go into the big tent, and there's this hole with rough-hewn steps, much rougher and newer looking than the rest of this.
So is there nothing in this tent but a big hole?
It's just.
There's
I mean, there's like the odd pile of gravel and like a shaft of a pick that hasn't got a head on it.
Is this all the gravel we've seen?
Remember from the last session, you were witness to people carrying sacks full of something out of it.
I'll head down first with the shield, sort of.
You head down blindly into the dark. Soon you cannot see.
I've got a torch.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh. That's
I don't know how long they last for, but...
Might have to
half an hour.
You just light
okay,
it
I'll
up
probably
and
have
light
to
it with
light
another one.
Something.
Okay, you got a torch. You head
I'll light it
down.
on the forge.
The flickering torch lights your way. It gets wider and thinner and wider and thinner irregularly. You go down for what seems like an age. Finally, lighting a fresh, additional, extra torch, because your one surely will not last much longer, you come out into a small roomlet. And there is one old, broad-shouldered man wearing rags, lying against the wall, wheezing, while a much younger man in fresher clothing slams his pick into a wall. Most of a door has been excavated. In fact, he'll probably have the whole doorway cleared in a few hours. The old man looks familiar to you. In fact, if he was a lot less scarred and fucked up, he might possibly have been a companion of yours at one point.
I will rush to his side.
I was thinking you were going to rush past.
Straight past.
Watch it up back.
His eyes have been burnt out of his head. He is clearly dying. He wheezes.
I'll take up his hand and kneel down beside him. My friend, is that you?
Resistance is useless.
Yeah, have some water.
He drowns.
What?
I mean, you jam water into his throat. You just
Pour a
go.
little bit into his mouth.
Your voice is not ours.
What are you saying? What do you mean?
You cannot comprehend the harmony.
He's delirious.
I'm watching the pick swinging guy because he decides to turn around and
With
pick.
zombie-like rhythmicness, the pick swings, biting into the rock. Chips fly.
The door that's been exposed, is there any markings on it that we can see so far?
Yes. It is a dark, burnished metal. It has been carved in layers representing fire and smoke. The same runes are etched into the archway overhead and down the seam of the door. Deep, blood red.
Can I make a healing check to like?
He's fucked.
He's like just super fucked.
I mean, it's impossible to bring him back. Maybe a super powerful cleric could do it. Like, who had, like, basically resurrect.
Oh, he's like that fucked?
He's, like, fucking dead.
So, it's,
Voice reminds me. Oh, I am a failure in the cupboard.
Radomir, there's nothing I can do. He's gonna die soon.
Is he a friend of yours, Radomir?
Radomir, why? You cannot win. The demons are here.
Do you want his suffering to
Mildred
be...
comes.
I assume this was Luca.
Yes.
Should he have appeared that old?
No.
Should not be this age.
I mean, who knows what horrors he has borne witness to.
So if he
But
was...
yes, he does seem a lot more white-haired and haggard. And, I mean, he could be like... He looks like he's like 95 and he shouldn't.
So you're saying he should not only be not emaciated from what has happened, but he is also physically older than he should be.
It's hard to tell. Maybe what happened to him was just so horrible.
Well,
I'm sorry, my friend.
this guy here is probably going to go through the same thing. Look at him. He's not even...
Yeah, the strapping lad wearing a young man's clothes appears to be your age.
I'll take one of my regular throwing axes and place it at his hand across his chest where I stand up.
It is a good thing to not go to your afterlife without a weapon.
May you find the peace we could not in the next life.
Should we not stop him?
I have an idea, I do not know if it'll work, but Sulin, could you get the flute out of my...
The bar got taken off us.
the thing?
You play a jaunty tune on your fife. Does anyone here feel happier?
So we all are, yeah?
It doesn't work that way. Yeah, that doesn't work.
So it doesn't even wake him up from the sound? Okay, because I assume there's nothing else that might also do that.
Yep.
It's worth a try.
Do you want the other one? With a wee smile.
I'd like to remind you that you don't know
What you
anything about
No,
that.
we don't do it yet.
Nope, not a thing.
Oh,
You
no.
know it exists.
I was gonna say we made it, didn't we?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was compelled to forge it, basically.
Do we?
Back that away and give it to Sulin.
Put back.
Yeah.
Maybe we just startle him out of it.
Probably take the eggs first.
Yes, take the pick out of his hand if you could.
That's not a problem. You whip out Lode Sunder, this little hook blade, you just clink it in on the backswing and pull it out of his hand because you're way stronger than this guy is. And he immediately just starts scrabbling with his bare hands at the rock.
That's
I'll
not good.
try and restrain him so he doesn't basically hurt himself too much. Oh, it's still in the thing. 12 on strength check.
Well, yeah, you pull him away from the rock, he starts panicking and screaming and flailing around.
Your song is not ours. Ah!
Sulin, take my water,
He begins foaming and frothing.
take my wineskin, and
You
see if
continue to
spraying him
restrain him.
in the face wakes him up or anything.
His neck snaps. Self-induced. Holding the
Interesting.
dead man in your hands,
Okay.
You seem to struggle so hard to
They're,
get back to digging.
they're all under a heavy spell.
at least you get the sensation that he was happy to be dead.
I mean, it seemed like it was. I mean, he probably could have been saved. He hadn't gone too far yet. Well, H or.
Yeah, but he was still.
But he'd clearly gone far here. But I mean, he hadn't. Yeah.
a checkers person.
Should I mention how warm it is down here?
Oh, it's warm?
Like, actively warm.
Oof.
Temperature is quite intense down here.
So I'll check his person, see if there's anything on him.
He has a couple of coppers and a silver in his purse. There's not much else. A belt knife. There's not much else to him. And it's not like people carry driver's licenses or anything.
It's more, if he had any notes or.
Perception check on what has been revealed for so far. 12.
Okay, so there's an archway with the same runes in it, and the door is made of a sort of dark burnished metal, which has been worked in layers to represent a fire with smoke billowing around the top of it. It is, the runes are also represented going down both sides of the split in the middle of the door, and a small portion of it is still covered by rock. The door is actually quite huge, as well, I should mention. That probably should have been the first thing I
We should
mentioned.
mine the rest of it so we can read the whole door. That seems like
I think there was some way we could make these people think it was morning or whatever triggers this. How do you know when it's morning when you're down here?
I'm guessing there's someone controlling them. Well, someone obviously sleeps in that lavish tent. That's the question.
You,
Where
you
is
didn't even get to spray them on the face before they broke their neck, did you? So, yeah.
So, I think we need to. I don't even know what we need down here. We need this stopped.
We need to go further and get to the heart of this matter.
There is
Does
no
anyone know how
further.
to cave in a cave without
yes, there
caving
is, isn't
yourself in?
No, that is further. The doorway in front of us is
siege
further.
engineering.
But everywhere else.
Whoever is responsible for the slavery cannot be beyond this point.
I thought there was.
Or it
I
could
thought he
be-
was digging it out of like a wall, and there was more.
There's only this at the end.
It could
in
be
that
that
tunnel, isn't it?
he is, and that's why this is being done. If it's a powerful enough force, it could be influencing the town from within its prison if its prison is weakening.
I hate to say this,
That's
but
true.
we might actually have to get the witches involved in this. This is
Well, there is magic at work here
Yeah.
of some kind, but it's also. It seems to be directly linked to, or at least somewhat linked to
The room, well, actually the entire cavern complex, shakes violently. Debris begins falling down from above, and that pile of rock in front of the door moves
what?
and falls away, almost ridiculously, obviously, repelled away from the door.
That's not a good.
That doesn't seem
Don't
good.
bounce off your shield.
cover itself almost.
I do
You
not
notice that there is no lock in this door.
Where are the rest of the miners then?
In school.
They went home.
They went home.
They only come down here.
The doors. I'm going to keep an eye. The doors aren't like moving. The doors are
It
staying.
is still night.
Doors are the
though.
only thing that's
Is it
not
not? It's not.
No, it's daytime.
It's daytime.
Anytime.
Oh, okay.
Because
That's why
yeah,
there's
yeah.
only one person. There are only two people.
I do not believe we can just leave this door alone now.
I don't know if we can stay here if it's going to continue shaking like this.
Eventually will subside.
But if whatever it is in there,
If
this is the final door, maybe it can open it.
What
Really
is
soon.
there any more markings on the door that's permanent, or are they very
Yeah,
similar?
so all the runes are now like there's like soft glow, red glow moves around them and down the center and starts again.
That's not a good sign.
Give me a versus magic. You don't have to.
Even I don't have to.
You can
I can
choose
choose to
To
fail.
fail.
I have passed.
You feel a deep connection to this door.
In what way?
No, I mean, you passed, so you just feel this door. It's also kind of like stuffy and hot down here and ill-ventilated. You kind of might want some air before too long.
I'll go and touch the door.
Well, you don't I'll try to interpose. Not gonna have interpose, but
Oh, don't have that? Oh,
Yeah. Like, just touch the door with my hands.
you're with your unshod hand.
Yes.
The door is warm.
Like, warmer than the rest of the room. Like, the heat is coming from the door.
we should leave and get some help.
Yeah.
The
This
door
is a-
also moves slightly under your
This
hand.
is a tricky
Move
situation.
Like that you could just push them open if you wanted to.
If whatever.
I don't
if
think
what
we.
is beyond
I don't
here
think we
is
can leave
the
this here.
cause.
So now you're up close to the door. You can actually see on the ground in front of it. One of that door on the left that was clear, that has been opened at some point. There's a fresh scrape on the ground.
I feel like I can just push this door open.
Well,
But
don't.
also, someone's used this recently.
Because it's so dark down here, you don't have close to see.
Also, I can see better in the dark. Yes.
Actually, you have infraversion 10-foot radius, which means you see like it's daytime immediately around you.
If it's
So it'd
already
be
been
very-
opened-
would actually have been very easy for you
There's
to
someone
see
in
that.
there.
Well, if it's already been opened, then we don't have to worry about unleashing something in there that's evil. If it's
Whoever
that
is
was my
inside
concern.
may be doing just that.
well, that was my concern. Is whatever in there may be causing this, but by opening the door, we may be helping it unleash itself.
But they've had one door open,
But if
yes.
they've already had one door open, then we can proceed because it has already been
With haste,
breached.
it
basically.
seems like something is happening.
I'll push the door open then.
I will not allow Luca's murderers to go free.
So the door swings open. Beyond it is an intense glow. Find yourselves in a small area.
Outside of this room?
There is a seething, bubbling, massive, heated fume coming from the center of everything. A great obelisk stands out in the center of it, and beyond that, you see something which causes you to make save versus death rolls.
I might die. Oh, brutal.
Rip!
Wait, what is my death versus death?
14.
Scylla was right, we should not have opened this door.
So you failed your
I did.
willpower check?
Yes.
Okay, I made it on the first roll, so I don't think I can.
Who failed? Oh, Radomir, no. Well, so Radomir falls to the ground and begins gibbering and crying in fear.
Batman! My parents are dead!
Martha!
Oh no!
I'll deal with you in a minute. At the edge, looking out into the great stone-like thing rising out of the lava pit, is a slick back-haired man in a long, blood-red, formal, ancient piece of clothing with lace at his wrists. And he has his arms out and he's chanting in some kind of language. No?
Oh, okay.
And you join in. You begin. You pull out that parchment and you begin the exhortations written upon it. And the great thing in the center of the lake of fire moves a little.
Can I knock him out? No, I will knock him out.
You need to, for any action, you need to make a willpower fear check. For in the dark places of the world.
Yep.
Okay. So you're which one is you?
That's me here.
You're pootling across here going, I'll thus spend the end Now you have to actually make a fucking check. Because
What do I say versus?
it's your armor class from behind versus an attack roll.
Okay.
It's a mug.
But then I'm not like immediately knocked out then as well.
So your back is to her, you're distracted, that makes it a mug, plus 4 bonus.
I mean, like,
AC 8.
I can't be missed. It's like she's gonna hit me. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah, but it's to get the instant knockout.
oh shit.
14.
Hit.
That's pretty good.
That was a nice move, by the way. Hymen's a piece of shit. Well, this guy is still at the end. I just used the Undertaker as a stand-in because I don't have many for the guy.
But it's not the Undertaker.
And he is incanting and enchanting, and he has an item in one hand that it looks like a fluted rod of some kind, but it's twisted and it shimmers, reflecting the light. The heat is unbearable. So Radomir begins chewing his own face off. At about this point, I think Sir Radomir would start climbing to his feet, his eyes completely dead, and he would be heading for that dropped parchment that he dropped.
He
He would be like,
Punch.
"You must go."
Can I set him on the way through too?
So I have to make
If
a
it stops him being dead, then sure.
have to make a will save before I do anything to them.
Yes, and so does she.
13. Ooh, perfect. It's just on it. So.
So my thing is going to be to
You actually
yell,
have to beat that. Whatever. It'll work.
"Cease your incantations, you
15.
harbinger of evil!" as I approach the person on the...
Turns around in shock, and then turns around and continues to faster this time. I'll start at Valentine.
Okay, 19 on beating the will check, so
Right.
I can start approaching it.
I plan to draw my bow and shoot him.
I mean, we could have easily all just failed our willpower rolls and stuff, and everybody's just,
No, fail
This is
willpower.
why you don't fight Balrogs, I guess.
Oh no! Well, you are paralyzed for the round.
Yep. So, Spheros,
I
you.
have to go around you, I guess?
No, you go through them.
Okay, yep.
We just
How
on
many
the
squares
ground.
can you walk?
12.
2, 3.
I'm guessing they're
5, 6,
harder
7,
territory.
8, 9, 10, 11.
It's stupidly hot here, but he's not sweating at all. Actually, as you step up right behind him, he'll use his free facing adjustment to abandon his ritual and turn around.
I'm going to end your madness, you foul creature! Do I have to make another willpower roll to attack in the same?
Oh yeah, because the fear thing's coming from the Balrog.
Okay.
Well, the stone thing that looks like a Balrog, but is...
Legally distinct power.
We have
Okay,
seen a
no.
Balrog skull.
Don't you just want to kiss these lips?